everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing our very first video for 2026, which is actually kind of crazy. So of course our very first video has got to be the brand new releases of January 2026. So there's actually a decent number of books coming out in January that are really exciting. There's not that many still compared to like what we're used to in the middle of the year, but there's still some really cool releases and I'm really excited to talk about them. So let's talk about what is coming out in January 2026. As usual, make sure you subscribe because I do one of these every single month. I do tend to focus on primarily fantasy books. However, there are some mystery, there are some romance. Every once in a while, there's other things thrown in here. But if you're looking for more nonfiction and historical fiction, that is definitely not going to be on this list. Definitely make sure to check elsewhere as well. But let's get into the brand new releases of 2026. I'm so excited. So first up, arguably one of the most exciting releases of January is The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chokshi. I feel like everybody's getting this book. I feel like this is the book that I keep hearing about, everybody talking about it. I'm really excited to get to this one. I loved is it The Tales from the Flower Bride? I love that book. I thought that book was so good. I think it was one of our book club choices. So I'm pretty excited to try this one, and it says that it's a prince is only as good as his beating heart, and a maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and the truth become impossibly tangled, the two must find out how to survive or fall completely apart. I actually don't know much about what this is about, but my brain, because of the title, makes me think it's like a Swan Princess retelling, but I don't know if that's actually accurate. I mean, it's got some vibes of that. We have a prince who expects the day after his marriage and murder he will wake up as a sentient tree alongside the rest of his predecessors. Interesting. Meets Demelza, and as a Veritas Swan, Demelza's songs ring out the truth. Forced into hiding, Demelza strikes a deal ours to provide her safekeeping in exchange for a truth-telling song to sort out his potential brides. And it seems like, yeah, there is a tournament of brides to compete for his hand and heart. So it's a lot of things that are generally kind of thrown into books that we like. So hopefully everything together, we end up liking it. So this next one, Beth is Dead. I don't know if this one's for me because I've actually never read Little Women, and this is like a, I think is it young adult? Yeah, young adult mystery thriller about Beth March, who was murdered and the other sisters are trying to figure out what happened. I just love this cover, and I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in this because sometimes when they take a classic novel and turn it into like a murder mystery, it's actually really fun. So I think this sounds really good. So it is based on Little Women, but I bet you could probably read it without, but we'll see. I want to see more reviews when it actually comes out to see if I actually need to read Little Women before trying this. Meet the Newmans. I love this whole idea. I think it sounds so interesting. Do I know if it's going to be for me? I'm not sure because it is definitely historical fiction, but I love the cover. I love the vibes. It says it's perfect for fans of Lessons in Chemistry, but also for Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I don't know if that's actually legit because those two things are very different. And I don't know if those were just two really popular comps that they decided that's just what they wanted to use. I just don't trust comps anymore. It's just rare that they're ever completely accurate. It says for 2 decades, Del and Dina Newman and their sons Guy and Shep have ruled television as America's favorite family. 1964, the Newmans' perfection suddenly feels woefully out of touch. Ratings are in a free fall, as are the Newmans themselves. Del's keeping a secret from his wife. Dina is slowly going numb, literally. Steady, stable Guy is hiding the truth about his love, and rock and roll idol Shep may finally be in real trouble. I don't know because I didn't read this before. Dina is going slowly numb, literally. I don't know if that is a, oh no, I don't know if that's like a chronic health thing, and I don't read books about chronic health because I already have to deal with it in real life. I don't really want to read about it. I really don't. I don't know. I think this could be a big hit. I think this is gonna be a big hit, but I don't know if this one's actually gonna be for me. Next, we have a book by Elise Kova, and it's called Dragon Cursed. It is by Entangled, which you guys know. A little nervous about Entangled books. The moment you see a dragon is usually your last. Since the dragons emerged along with the scourge that ravaged our lands and people, there's only one human city that remains standing, Vingard. But the hellfire from above is nothing compared to the threat from within, for there is no worse fate than being dragon cursed. Slowly and excruciatingly, you'll be transformed into a mindless beast who destroys everything and everyone you love. Okay, so that's really cool because we've got like a big overarching secret. Somebody might know, romance. That sounds actually pretty cool. So I might check this one out. Very hit or miss with Elise Kova books. And anytime I read a first book, I don't want to continue in the series. So I don't know. This is actually one that I will not be reading. I actually gave up on Rachel Hawkins' books, specifically not her romance pen name. I do love her romance books, but I gave up on her mystery thrillers because I just haven't liked a single one of them. So this is for everybody else because I know this is actually a pretty big release because people still enjoy her books. But this is taking place in Alabama, it looks like. The deadly hurricanes that regularly sweep into the town, the Rosalie Inn, a century-old hotel that survived every one of the storms, and Lo Bailey, the local girl infamously accused of the murder of her lover, political scion Landon Fitzroy, during Hurricane Marie in 1984. You know what? That actually sounds kind of good. As the summer heats up and another monster storm begins twisting its way towards St. Bernard's Bay, Geneva learns that some people can be just as destructive and as deadly as any hurricane, and that the truth of what happened to Landon Fitzroy may not be the only secret Lo is keeping. That kind of sounds really good. I can't do it. I can't. Every single one of her premises sounds amazing, and I have not liked a single one of her books. I can't do it. Moving on to January 13th. First one I'm really excited about. I really like this cover. It's called A Killer Kind of Romance. The crime podcast host must solve a chilling serial killer case while navigating an unexpected romance with her mysterious next-door neighbor. I like it. I also like that they're not holding the things in the actual picture, but in their shadow, she's holding a magnifying glass and he's holding a knife. I think that's so fun. It's so fun. I love this cover. I think this sounds so good. I will be picking this one up. Next is A Barista's Guide to Love and Larceny. Again, may not be for me. It looks like a cozy fantasy, but I love the cover. I know cozy fantasy is a vibe for a lot of people. It's just not my vibe. Combines magic, college life, and first love in a sweetly brewed and delicious read about a girl roped into investigating a company's dangerous product. That actually could be really interesting. As long as there is like a compelling plot within a cozy fantasy, I can like it. I just feel like they're very meandery. So this could be for me. This is probably gonna be like a library pickup. I'm trying to be much more intentional about the books that I buy this year, so I'm definitely gonna be trying to use my library a lot more. Speaking of which, I gotta go return library books after this, don't let me forget. Crystal's Heart, Isabel Ibanez, a big release. Again, not having the best ratings. I don't know what's going on because I feel like Isabel Ibanez came out strong with her first book and it's just been downhill from there. And this one is coming in a ton of book boxes and I don't know about this book. I'm not buying into the author's writing anymore. I used to, I don't know if this author is for me. So this is probably their last chance, to be honest. And this is also fantasy historical fiction. It's not going to work for a lot of people. A lush, atmospheric, and achingly magical standalone adult fantasy romance set in Renaissance Italy. I am excited that it's standalone. I am trying to read more standalones. We're following our main character, a sculptress, Ravenna, enters a competition hosted by a secretive, immortal family who offer an invaluable boon to the victor. Desperate to win so she can save her brother, Ravenna reveals a rare magical talent, a dangerous act in a city where magic is forbidden. It seems like a lot. Her revelation makes her a target, and she is kidnapped by the Looney family and taken to Florence, a city of breathtaking beauty and cutthroat ambition. Already just in that little bit, it's like too much is already happening. You're already telling us everything that's happening in this book. So does this competition happen and she's kidnapped within like the first 50 pages? Like, that is so much stuff happening. You don't need that much stuff happening in a book already. And that was, again, my argument about her Egyptian duology. It was just a lot. It was a lot happening, and so this is already making me a little bit nervous. Next one up, I'm actually really excited about. Again, I'm trying to find some more romantasy books to read because I have been enjoying romantasy a decent amount. A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. Deadly Tarot, Wicked Schemes, Dangerous Alliances. Can you survive the Forge? Each year, humans are forced to journey into the immortal realms, but 20-year-old Rune orchestrates her own selection, determined to find her family and destroy anyone who stands in her way. Cutthroat College for Immortal Druids, Elusive Tarot Magic. When Rune's magic reveals itself to be the rarest and most powerful, she must live with its only other wielder, Prince Draven. As arrogant as he is ruthlessly ambitious, he's the last person she can trust. We'll see, because I'm already like, oh. So I don't know. The tropes are, I have mixed feelings about including tropes because it does sometimes feel like when they do something like that, it feels like the tropes are almost more important than the plot. And I actually just watched a video about that. I don't remember who it was, but someone just had a video about it talking about how people are, instead of writing plot first, they're writing trope first. And that's probably one of the reasons that writing and editing are going a little bit downhill, because they're not focusing on the characters and the plot. They're focusing on what tropes they can put on the book to entice people to read it. Enemies to lovers, fake dating, fake fated mates, coming of rage, there's only one bed. So it's like this, like there's only one bed. That doesn't need to be put in here. I don't know what this is. Fake dating, fake fated. It's just like all the key ones. Like that's 3 of the most popular ones, and it's like, did you write this for the characters and plot, or did you write it for the tropes? So that makes me a little bit nervous seeing that down there. Book of Blood and Roses, again, another romantasy that is coming out. Book 1 of a seductive, sapphic paranormal fantasy. A vampire hunter goes undercover at a mysterious university and falls in love with her roommate, an alluring vampire. All I want to know. I feel like that's a good tagline. Did they put tropes on this one? No. Okay, feel a little bit better about it. Scottish Highlands. That's cool. Kind of love that. So we'll see. This one sounds pretty good. And this one, I actually have a physical arc of this one, which is really cool. This is Oxford Blood by Rachel Davis Featherstone. I am going to be reading this. It says it's a Good Girl's Guide to Murder meets Ace of Spades in this young adult thriller where a girl has to navigate a cutthroat world of academia to uncover the truth behind her best friend's death. Again, that's all I want to know. I don't like knowing a ton about my thriller mysteries, just because sometimes you can put a little bit too much in the synopsis. I want everything to be a surprise. So I will be reading this hopefully before the release date. The very first book is actually a different date than the rest. This is January 15th. I don't know if that's a UK date. I don't know when the actual release date is, but it says it's January 15th. And this is a new epic fantasy, which is really nerve-wracking. Actually, Amy found this one for me. She sent this to me. I did not see this one. I don't know how I missed it, but it's called Sister Wake by Dave Rudin. And it says the gods were here and they were angry. There's just a lot happening. It says it's for fans of James Islington, John Gwynne, and Joe Abercrombie. Hopefully not the devils. Hopefully not the devils. Rebellion, intrigue, horror, gigantic, dangerous gods, and Celtic mythology. I mean, that sounds pretty good. So we'll see. This is probably going to be a library pickup for me, just because I'm not the biggest epic fantasy person. I'm trying to get into it more. Like, I'm trying to read a lot of the Cosmere this year, and I'm already really enjoying Elantris, but I'm not a big high fantasy girly, so I need to check that out. January 20th. I'm so conflicted about this book, because it's the next book by Jennette McCurdy, who did the memoir I'm Glad My Mom Died, which was a massive success. I was okay with it, but I think I generally don't love memoirs unless I know the topic or the person well. So the ones that I've read, like the Britney Spears one I loved. I really enjoyed the One Tree Hill one. I don't remember her name. Dinner for Vampires, that one. I enjoyed that one. I liked the Demi Moore one. I liked the Playboy Bunny ones are actually really good. This one, I struggled a little bit. I think I gave I'm Glad My Mom Died 4 stars, but that was not the era of Disney that I knew very well, so I didn't know a lot of the shows, I didn't know a lot of the references, and I didn't actually know the actress, but everyone said it was so good, and it was really interesting topics of conversation, and it was very well done. So this is the next book by her, but it's not a memoir. It is actually a fiction contemporary book, and I don't know if I care for like the synopsis. It does seem like it's going to be a good way for Jennette McCurdy to kind of let out some demons that she's holding, because it is very sexually explicitly forward, it seems like. So it says it's a thrilling novel about sex, consumerism, class, desire, loneliness, the internet, rage, intimacy, power, and the oftentimes misguided lengths we'll go to in order to get what we want. So it feels like a very logical next step after the memoir. Like, that sounds like something that she would want to write to express herself more instead of telling the whole world about herself. So she can actually be fictional in this book. So for me, it's probably, again, it would probably be a library book or listen to an audiobook. Not really my vibe. However, I am excited to see more reviews about it and what people are saying. And I do know a lot of people are excited about this because of the author. Another one that I added for you all, but I don't think I'm going to be reading. This is the same author as Watermoon. This is the Elsewhere Express. Again, another gorgeous edition. But you know, I don't really trust these gorgeous editions. And I feel like it's really interesting because no book box is doing this book that I've seen. So I don't know if that's a publisher decision or people did not like Watermoon. So book boxes were like, we're not going to bother with them. So I don't know. and this is a cozy fantasy, so I kind of expected I expected Fairy Loot to at least do it. Obviously, they did not, at least to my knowledge. I have not seen that they could do it, and I just missed it. I'm not sure. You lose your way in life, the Elsewhere Express just might find you. Step aboard the train that can take you to your life's purpose in this cozy and inspiring fantasy from the nationally best-selling author of Watermoon. I just don't care. I don't care because I really despised Watermoon. I didn't think it was well plotted. I didn't think it was well written. I really hated that book. I know a lot of people loved it. I also know a lot of people also hated it. It was a very polarizing book from 2025. So I just have no desire to read this book. But we'll see. If people are enjoying it, maybe I'll pick it up. Oof, another one I'm quite nervous about. This is the new Simone St. James, A Box Full of Darkness. The last 3, I think, at least 2 Simone St. James books I have not liked at all. And Simone St. James arguably has written my favorite thriller of all time. The Broken Girls is probably my favorite thriller. Like, or mystery. It's so good. And I love her other books. But man, Murder Road is bad. Murder Road is bad. And then what was the one right before that one was also really bad. What was that one called? That was a book of the month, I think. And I don't think anybody liked that one. I liked The Sundown Motel. I loved The Broken Girls. Oof, it was these 2. The Book of Cold Cases, that's, the 3 stars is generous on that one. I think it's closer to like a 2 to a 2.5. I really didn't like this one. And then I really didn't like Murder Road. I haven't read any of their other ones. I do own Haunting of Maddie Clare and Silence for Dead, but I'm really nervous after not liking the past 2 books. And it's kind of like the Riley Sager effect where I'm just like, ooh, do I really want to read this? Do I want to read this? Siblings return to the house they fled 18 years before, called back by the ghost of their long missing brother and his haunting request to come home. As long as she goes, the book just needs to be fun. Like, I feel like the last 2 books were just not fun. Well, Murder Road, I feel like, tried to be fun, but it was bizarre. That book was just bizarre. I don't know about this. I'll probably end up trying it, but I don't know. Next, we have a young adult horror/thriller, and it's called Dead Fake. Would you swipe to die? When the new craze takes over Bleak Haven High, Ava Wilson refuses to join in. As the niece of an infamous murderer, it's the last thing she needs. The mysterious website allows people to view their own death, an AI-generated version of their final slasher movie moments, but when some of her classmates' deepfakes are replicated in real life, Ava can either catch the killer or be the next victim. I don't think this is going to be anything groundbreaking, but this sounds so interesting, and I think this is a really good conversation about AI and what people are going to do with AI, because they're doing some crazy things, and I don't think this is that far-fetched for someone to do, so we'll see about this one. Next is, oh man, Alice Feeney. Alice Feeney, I just don't think I like her writing. This is My Husband's Wife, and the Queen of Twists. The Queen of Twists that don't make sense. That's what I think. Back with psychological masterpiece that will leave you questioning everything you know about love, identity, and revenge. I don't even want to know what it's about. I added this in here for you guys because I think she wrote, yeah, Beautiful Ugly. Beautiful Ugly is, I believe, my worst book of 2025. And I don't think you can call someone the Queen of Twists when her twists are dumb. Like, they're stupid. They're so bad. I'm sorry if you like her books, but I don't. Rock, Paper, Scissors, I give a 3. Daisy Darker, or a 1. Beautiful Ugly, a 1. I don't think. That's actually 3 books that I haven't liked, so technically she is out, so I probably will not be reading My Husband's Wife. If All the Stars Go Dark, I really like this cover. I think it's really cute. I'm always looking for more sci-fi. This is a young adult sci-fi. 18-year-old Keller Hartman is recruited into Legion's most prestigious galactic unit. It's a dream come true. He worked hard for this. He's ready to prove himself. The problem, his new partner, the beautiful no-nonsense pilot Lament Bringer, wants nothing to do with him. Very classic young adult romance, just add a sci-fi plot in. Next, this is a huge release. I wasn't originally going to get this, but I am going to get this, and it's called The Poet Empress. I was a little bit nervous because of the comps, because Serpent in the Wings of Night, didn't really like. She Who Became the Sun, very historical fiction, so that's the only reason I didn't like it. The writing was fantastic. Song of Achilles, haven't read it, but I did not like Circe by the same author, which is why I haven't read Song of Achilles. And again, very historical fiction. But it says it's following the Azalea dynasty. The emperor is dying, the land consumed by famine and poetry and magic, lost to all except the powerful. Wei Yin is desperate after the 5th death of a sibling in her family and the village on the brink of starvation. She will do anything to save those she loves. That is very similar to how She Who Became the Sun started, which is why I'm a little bit nervous. Even offer herself as a concubine to the cruel heir of the beautiful and brutal Azalea House. But that feels a little bit like The Girls of Paper and Fire, which I loved. I loved The Girls of Paper and Fire. I think my problem with She Who Became the Sun, it was a very wartime story, and I just don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care, I'm just not interested in reading about that. So, wasn't a fan of that. However, this could be really good. So I am excited to give it a shot. And the final book coming out on the 20th is The Future Saints. This feels very, and it says it, Daisy Jones and the Six. This feels very Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is surprising coming out of Ashley Winstead because Ashley Winstead is known more for their thriller mystery books. However, this sounds up my alley. I love contemporary books that are following fictional stars, movie stars, stuff like that. That is definitely my vibe. And it says it's a new novel about a music executive desperately trying to bring a rock band back from the brink, from bestselling author of Ashley Winstead. I think that sounds really good. I do have an e-arc actually of this from NetGalley, so I do need to get to this one as well. I'm going to try and keep up with my books this year from NetGalley. I haven't requested anything in such a long time because I'm trying to get through my backlist. For our final date, we have January 27th, and we are starting with another brand new Freida McFadden called Dear Debbie. I'm so tired of her books, but I have to keep reading them because I either give them like a 1-star or like a 4 to 5 star. So like there's some that I really love. I really loved The Tenant. I loved The Boyfriend. So I guess I'm trying this one. So hopefully it goes in the direction of me liking it instead of the direction of like The Coworker, which I really despised, or The Crash. Really hated that one. I just can't. I do like that it says that we'll have you cheering good for her. Love that sentiment. However, I just don't know. And I don't know if I care to know anything about it. Debbie Mullen is losing it. For years, she has compiled all of her best advice into her column, Dear Debbie, where the wives of New England come for sympathy and neighborly advice. Through her work, Debbie has heard from countless women who are ignored, belittled, or even abused by their husbands, and Debbie does her best to guide them in the right direction, or at least she did. Spiraling out of control, lost her job. Something strange is happening with her teenage daughters, and her husband is keeping secrets according to the tracking app she installed on his phone. Now Debbie's done being the bigger person. She's done being reasonable and practical. It's time to take her own advice. It's time for payback. You know, kind of like it. Kind of like this. So we'll see. Again, it's going to be a hit or miss. I mean, it always is. Women of a Promiscuous Nature. Historical fiction. This is not normally something I talk about. However, I love a women's story. I love women. I love a woman's story. Accused of promiscuity in 1940s North Carolina, a young woman unjustly incarcerated and subjected to involuntary medical treatment at the State Industrial Farm Colony for Women decides to fight back in this powerful, shockingly timely novel based on the long-buried history of the American Plan, the government program designed to regulate women's bodies and sexuality through the first half of the 20th century. I feel like I gotta read this. I feel like I'm gonna love this. So I am very much excited for this one. This is a weird one. Escape by Stephen Fishbach. A propulsive debut novel following a has-been reality TV star, probably why I added this one, and a disgraced producer who get one last shot at redemption on a show set on a remote island only to discover that the plot twists are beyond what they ever imagined. I mean, again, this is going to be hit or miss one. Sometimes with the reality show books, they can be a bit... they're not exactly what I'm looking for. So I do get a little bit nervous when they're in like a thriller mystery kind of like this, but we'll see. Then we have We Who Have No Gods. In a world of witches, a human woman must hunt or be hunted in this explosive gothic dark academia fantasy filled with war-bent rivals, guarded secrets, and simmering chemistry. That's all I know about this. It does say urban fantasy, which is interesting. I'm not the biggest urban fantasy fan, but I am a big dark academia fan. So we'll see what this one is kind of about. The Wolf in the Crown of Blood. I do actually think this sounds pretty good. It's not generally my vibe entirely, but a princess and a war-weary god meet in the ashes of a broken city, forging a pact of blood and sacrifice. Now centuries of fragile peace are on the brink of collapse. Our main character is Bryony, and there's going to be rebellions, immortal assassins, known as Wolf. I don't know how I feel about that. Inspired by Beauty and the Beast and Eros and Psyche. Dark and seductive tales perfect for fans of Raven Kennedy's Plated Prisoner series. Wit and spice of Quicksilver. That makes me a little bit nervous. Packed with dark fairy tale vibes, gothic romance, tropes like, oh no, stop with this. I can't. I can't when they put the tropes in the thing. I don't like when they do that. Enchanting the Fey Queen. This is the second book after, shoot, what is it called? It's part of the Queens of Villainy series. It is following the next character, like in that series. There's like queens and stuff in that series. So this is following the next queen, Queen Lorelai, and just her story. Wooing the Witch Queen. Okay, that's what it is. And I gave it like a 3.5. I read it for one of my book box videos, and it was fun. Next up, and last one that is coming out in January 2026. I almost said 2025. I'm sure I said January 2025 at some point. It is Sparking Fire Out of Fate, and this is the last book finale of the Forging Silver series. I still need to read the first book. I think I read like the first 2 chapters and I was enjoying it, but I gotta continue with that. I'm really, really behind on Bridget Kemmerer books. Like I got very far behind and I really need to keep up. This is the last one, can't really talk about it, but it is part of the world from you guys know Curse of Dark and Lonely. That's why I was kind of like, that's why I haven't read this one yet, because I really didn't love books 2 and 3 in A Curse of Dark and Lonely. However, this sounds like it could be good. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try the series, but I don't know. But this is the 3rd one. It'll be out. The whole series will be finished if you've been waiting for it to be done. And that is everything that I have for you guys today. Definitely let me know down below in the comments if I missed anything. It's most likely that I have. I normally miss 1 or 2 just because there's so many books that are coming out. So if you've made it to the end of the video, what am I most excited about for January? Future Saints, The Poet Empress. Oh, there's so many good options. Oxford Blood. You know what? Because I have a physical arc of Oxford Blood, leave a book emoji, because it is going to be like a somewhat dark academia, I think, thriller mystery thing that's happening. Leave a book if you made it this far into the video. Definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you're excited about for January. Make sure you subscribe to miss new future content. I obviously do one of these every single month, so I will have a February one coming out at the end of January. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.